Hey y'all, Andrew Reed, Mossy Creek Mushrooms. And today I have a new co-host that as we're going forward that you guys may have recognized from an earlier episode, but will be kind of joining me permanently, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. So, for those that haven't seen me before, I'm Josiah Patterson. My wife and I own Extraterrestrial Fungi. We're a farm about 40 minutes west of Andrew, also kind of hitting up restaurants and farmers markets in the Knoxville area. So I was one of Andrew's early mentees, and
Is that the real word?
It always feels weird to say. I mean,
that's the word that we use.
I think it is,
but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, I've got us pulled up as well so I can see any questions we get. Would you do me a favor? Reach over on that camera and just kind of give it a little wiggle on the wire. Try to make sure. All right, that's good. Thank you. You got a nice close-up of your face doing it. And we were shorting out. You were like going black every 3 seconds. So.
Okay.
Wow, Penny Pack got on and said, "Oh my God, I don't know what you're oh my Godding, but it's just me, just Josiah. Not that it's just Josiah. You know what I mean."
Yes.
Well, so you introduced your farm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. What do you want to cover first?
Oh man. Yeah.
We had some ideas on this, and we did talk about it a little bit, but
yeah, I think we were going to kind of just generally try to talk about the startup game right now. I guess my experience with a little. I guess that's what's familiar with me right now.
Sure. So you took mentorship with us. What, February? Is that last year?
Yeah, February of last year. Left the mentorship. My daughter was born in November of the 2020, so I did the mentorship like 2 weeks before my wife was going back to work, and then I went home and built the grow room during nap time and basically started buying blocks from you and pieced together the farm along the way, but was able to start at the farmers markets May 1st of last year. So
May 1st.
May 1st, yeah. Okay. So I'm not quite a year yet.
But getting close.
Almost there.
So, I mean, something that I kind of find exciting is we were talking about the other day. I didn't realize that you're not even a year into this. You got 3 employees.
Yeah. It I don't even blows my mind sometimes.
Well, as it should.
Yeah, it's grown very fast.
You're still in the basement.
Still in the basement. Okay. Yeah. We started with a huge room, for what a 10 by 20 grow room, and I was buying like 25 blocks a week from you to start. So I had like a little shelf in the grow room that was full, and now it's pretty much full.
Okay. So do you know how many blocks you guys are producing each week?
Yeah, we do 160 a week right now. 160
a week in a basement. It's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's packing the grow room. We've got some ideas for how we might try to shove a little bit more in there, but we've always liked to make CO2 our biggest challenge.
I feel you. That in the basement days, that was my problem too.
Yeah,
we ran into that over and over and over again because, especially since our incubation was upwind, the total flow. So, do you know how many pounds a week you grow on?
Yeah, honestly, we don't do the greatest job of keeping track. We've just been
me neither.
Yeah, overproducing and trying to
I've
sample
noticed.
Yeah.
That's actually something I want to get into here in a little bit. Is Josiah and I've been running into each other out in the restaurants. So
yes. I've got that picture. I don't know of us on the same menu. That was at Ollie B.
Oh yeah, where we're both on there.
The mushroom dual tacos or whatever. Yeah, so yeah,
mushroom dual taco. I like that name.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right because I'm coming for Ollie B again.
There you go.
But anyways, you were saying, you guys have been overproducing.
Overproducing, yeah. It we've kind of been scaling up a little bit at a little bit. So this new number of doing 160 per week regularly is just a few months in, if that, just maybe like a couple months. We were doing 120 before that.
Okay.
And so we've gone from 200 approaching closer to 4 now
Wow.
a week. Yeah.
So, I mean, is that second flushes, third flushes? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so we we do second flush on. We basically do your rotation. We we plant. Essentially, we can fit one side with planting twice a week.
Okay.
And so we go, one side a week. We roll. We got 4 aisles, and when we get back to that first one again. Hopefully, we've normally gotten at least a second flush. Some of the, sometimes Old Road, Mother of Pearl give us 3.
Third, yeah.
But, and then we're really just getting like one flush out of some of the things like Piopinos or chestnuts, some of the
That's
stuff we
us
just,
too. Yeah. For us, chestnuts are like a one and done, and then Piopinos as well. Hericiums, I'm always tempted to leave them in because I know that they'll do 5th, 6th, 7th flushes that are just as big as the first one. I don't know where they get the water, but
yeah. The issue we second flush depending on the strain. We've got certain Hericiums that they'll keep growing, but they're too dirty, dude. They bring mold too quickly.
Well, and that juice.
The juice creates the environment. You get
juice.
puddles underneath and all. It's more work than it's worth at this point. So.
Well, and much like the Hericium, the juice, it's just as deadly as the normal juice.
Yes.
I don't know how many other. Hopefully, too many people won't get that. I don't want to get canceled. But sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No, not at all. Heck yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys are in a good position, man. I mean, you guys came down for the October get together, which we're planning on having
it was
again.
A blast, yeah.
I freaking loved that. But I like how much you showed up in Jesse's footage on Missing Meadows. Have you seen that video?
Oh yeah.
Like you guys are in the background.
I did a good job of somehow being seen for the brief bit that we made it out here.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You were very, very visible in a very short period of time. But tell me about why ET Fungi. Like why? What's up with that? I love your logo. I think it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
You and it's Clint. I can't remember Clint's farm name now. But
yes.
you guys both have which I love sci-fi. So you guys both are already speaking my language when it comes to that.
Yeah. So that's starts with the love of sci-fi. Picking a mushroom farm name is
It's terrible.
It is terrible. So you go through several things, and this is one that jumped out to me, and I actually had pushback from a lot of people. I got kind of the idea of the name in this image all together, and so it was certainly spawned by the idea of panspermia.
Okay, gotcha.
Life seeded from
space.
From space, absolutely. So it's a play on that. In particular, just to talk mushrooms being extremophile, the fact that mushrooms theoretically could be, those extremophiles to do it. So I got the idea for the image and the name at the same time, and I just had to go for it.
Look at the camera for a second. Yeah, there we go. Well, especially the hat. Like the hat is, which I know you said that's a one-off, but I love that hat.
We're working on them.
Oh, don't worry, Tristan. Glad to have you here. It's actually a different Tristan than my Tristan. So.
Okay.
I know, right? Like it always throws me off too. I'm sure that Tristan and Fat Maddie are probably out there watching as well.
Yes.
I know Cheryl is because she's commenting in the chat. So
nice. I'm gonna have to start doing this the right way so I can see and interact with it.
Oh, you just put it up on your phone.
Yeah.
And you just make sure you turn the volume down, because otherwise we'll get the infinite loop of.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know that much.
Okay, well, I didn't realize it was that simple. I will say that I've started watching X-Files again.
Yeah.
And so, of course, episode 4 was what we watched yesterday. That's where the girl gets abducted, and then they've got the RV gets baked and everything. So it has nothing to do with mushrooms.
Just getting back into X-Files.
Just getting back into X-Files.
Yeah.
So
heck yeah.
And you wearing alien stuff makes me think of that. And I tried to write the description for this with a little bit of alienness for you, but I had to do it. Like Josiah literally watched me here. Like I had a 3-hour consult today, and then tried to get here in time, and it basically just had to slap everything together, and including why I didn't have a post come out earlier, like yesterday, to warn you guys. But Josiah was like, "That's fine, because it's basically the way a mushroom farm is put together." So
No, live, last minute. There you go.
live and last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheryl says, "I want to believe."
Yes.
Well, okay, so we're talking startup, and then, which of course, if anybody in the chat wants to ask questions about startups, we're happy to answer.
Yeah.
But what after you left here, were you already growing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I'd spent. So the pandemic for me gave me a lot more free time, and that was my kind of time spent with mushrooms as a hobby just increased. So I had spent about a year just on the hobby scale doing the, shotgun fruiting chambers. I worked my way up, built myself kind of a little homemade Martha. I was learning how to build things at the same time. So many aspects of this were new to me. But, I knew enough to ask the right questions, but I had never seen a mushroom farm, other than YouTube. I'd never...
Right.
A lot of it was needing to be, I didn't know really if I was doing things right. It was all based on whether or not I was successful. And
Well, I felt kind of bad when you came, because we were still slapping everything together. I mean, you saw everything when it was bare bones.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's okay. Honestly, I think that was very helpful for me. A lot of it has both successes and not necessarily failures, but just struggles to be able to come and visit you guys and see, everyone goes through the same kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Has been, a lot of that stuff gave me what I needed to build that first grow room, turn it into something.
I tell people sometimes that I feel like part of my job sometimes is just kind of like giving people permission for like,
dude, yeah.
Don't worry about how rednecky you're doing it, because I'm doing it just as rednecky and it's working.
I mean, that is a little bit of it, getting to just see, oh, he's got this in the grow room too. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is okay to do. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It goes a long way, man.
Well, and it was something I needed to begin with as well. I really think that's common.
Yeah.
Because, like, my mentor was a guy named Hugh Brewer. I don't know if you ever met him. Okay. I think that he was out of mushrooms by the time... he's older. He still grows reishi about twice a year, but he doesn't really... and he consults on some farms, but he's primarily like doing out of country stuff. But he's not. He lives here local.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah. He ran an op out of Dandridge, and one of the best growers I've ever met. Like, I'm not gonna say he's one of the best businessmen I've ever met, but
that'd just be unfair.
It would, yeah. but he's just getting older. Like, he had a heart attack, and at some point he's just like, I'm done with mushrooms.
Yeah.
He was a veteran and had some income from that, and then from a bunch of other stuff, and so he's just like, I don't really need the money. I'm just gonna be retired and grow mushrooms as a hobby.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, that's in the beginning. I had that guy who I went into his house, and he had mushroom blocks everywhere. Under tables, on the very tippy top of bookshelves, stuff behind the couch. Like, there were just mushroom blocks everywhere. Thinking about it now, it kind of scares me, because I'm like, well, let's think about all that CO2. But
I want to take a nap thinking about it.
Right. Yeah, but it was fair. Like, I saw it and I was like, okay, I don't need. And of course, if you watch some of like or go look at Mycelium Running,
Yeah.
there are pictures of Paul Stamets back in the 70s in like a dinky little kitchen with the floor peeling and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I see even the big names.
I mean, as you're saying that, I'm kind of picturing, some pictures out of Radical Mycology or some of these books where you see, things just stacked. If there's space, shove a block in it.
Have you tried to buy another copy of that book recently?
No, but I've suggested it to a couple people, and they've told me that
It's just gone.
Yeah, good luck.
It's like I think I found a used copy for $150.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Huh.
I don't know why Radical Mycology's just disappeared. I would think that he would keep printing it.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be kind of a gold mine at this point.
You'd think so. I mean, they were using my copy came from some like super small printer.
Publisher?
It seemed a small publisher, or
Okay.
something. So I don't know if Who knows?
Maybe
but
it was just limited numbers. I don't know. Yeah, he's not much
Man.
of a capitalist, and so maybe it was just a one-off thing that he was doing for a little while.
Well, dang.
I know that sucks because it was actually a good compendium. But I saw Gary from Fresh from the Farm Fungi's also put a book out.
I did see that recently. Yeah.
I hope to get a copy of it. So
Yeah.
plus he's got some new genetics, the Mach 3 pulmonaris.
Okay.
I want to try it just because I'm trying to find good pulmonaria strains, and he says that from spawning, he went from spawning to harvesting in like 8 days, I think.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
yeah, and I was like, well, with a name like Mach 3, it better be that fast. But
That's fast though. That really.
that's really fast. Like I've not heard of that. I mean, like Hericiums we incubate for about a week, and then we throw in the grow room whether they look ready or not.
It's a bag of dirt. Yeah.
Right, but it's not.
They take a long time after that.
right. Yeah, you're talking like 2 weeks in the grow room for your first.
Yeah,
flush.
they make up for the time. Yeah, not incubating in the grow room, but.
But that's the
Wow.
only way I've been able to get them without like getting some of that where they fruit sporadically through the bag and then start to rot. And I've noticed that juice comes sooner if they're allowed to fruit in the block.
Yep.
So-
Yep.
We do have a couple questions here.
Yeah.
So Daniel asked, "What do you use for the floor of your grow room?" So we just use our concrete floors. Do you use anything different in a house?
Yeah. I was super fortunate that we had a pretty much completely unfinished basement. We had a little carpet to pull up, and it's a concrete slab underneath it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's actually pretty funny. It was a shuffleboard court. We had an old man that used to live had a huge rock collection down there, and then in the one little spot he had this
A
shuffleboard.
shuffleboard.
So right in the middle of one side of the grow rooms, you can see the little triangle in there.
Oh, you didn't even take it up?
No.
Or grind it down? Or
No,
I like that.
It's on there. If the doors were just a little bit moved over, you could open it and play.
You gonna let me come up with a camera to your op someday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I totally
See,
will.
he's having the shape like so. My mother, when I first started doing the YouTube channel, my mom was like, "Why do you want to show all your junk in the background to people?" And I'm like, "I don't.
Yeah, that's
I really don't. It's just that there is junk in the background, and if I wait until it's completely clean, I'm never gonna do it."
Yeah.
But also, there's another trick to that, which is if I video it and then I'm sitting there editing it, and the whole time I'm ashamed of the junk in the background, then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I get worried, like worked up enough about it, I'll go clean it up.
All right.
So like, it was just about keeping, I definitely had the shame too. It just,
Use it as momentum. I like it.
yeah, you got to.
Yeah. No, we can definitely. I was already thinking about that.
Okay.
That'd be,
That's what I was hoping for. Was like we could go up there and do like some B-roll, and then we could just talk about, like we could actually like segment, like show your op, show where you're at in an honest viewpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, people have seen mine from back in the day. And then, of course, they get to see it here as well, but they don't necessarily get to see other farms. I actually want to do a Florida tour with this one day.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was invited to Portugal today. I don't think I'm going to fly out there anytime soon, but I want to.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a standing offer.
Exactly. Yeah, that it's going to stick around for a while. Let's see. Penny Pack says, "Can I have everything in one 16 by 16 building?" Well, don't worry about it. It's just my stuff. Don't worry about
Just
it.
my stuff. You're
Just my
welcome.
stuff, just break it. But yeah, 16 by 16. So do you know your square footage?
I have had quite a bit of room to work with. We're in about a 2,000 square foot basement. So
So that's like a 20 by 10.
about that, yeah.
No,
No.
20 by 10 is 200.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be just like my grow room. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So you're actually working in a bigger space than a lot of people would have.
I mean, it's
You know.
yeah. Our basement, the style of house we have, our basement is basically underneath our whole house.
Okay.
So it was a big space. I didn't start with that much, and I don't I could get by without it. I put the walk-in is in the basement down there.
Yeah.
We're kind of, putting it anywhere else would have just been hauling mushrooms uphill and upstairs.
Yeah, right,
and
constantly.
So there's some things that we could have done differently if we had less space. And it gives us a lot of room for production and, Yeah, to make use. We've got a little bit more incubation than we need, so we could get by with less, but
I gotcha.
it's nice.
Well, 16 by 16 would be pretty small. I was looking at it's like 256 square feet.
To do everything?
To do everything is what she asked. So
It depends on goals, I guess.
Yeah, my answer would be, what are your goals?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to grow a small amount of mushrooms, probably. If you want to get a start on everything and just like use it to get a little bit of momentum going, then sure.
Can you buy blocks from someone? That's room for a grow room.
Exactly. That's another thing there, right there.
If you can, a good sized grow room.
If you can buy blocks, then you can put in a good sized grow room and just worry about having your blocks shipped in.
Yeah,
that's not a bad way to go.
I mean, and that is how I started. Did just kind of
you expanded,
and you can use that to pay for, if you need more space. There you go.
Let's see. If we're buying blocks, which I don't know where she's at, but typically what I've seen, even from the big guys, is about $10 a block. Oftentimes shipped to your door for some of those guys, because if you order enough, they'll give you blocks for like $7, and the shipping comes out to like $3 per. If you're having them shipped in boxes, it's going to be a little bit more. All of that said, even if it's a little bit more expensive, if you're selling directly to restaurants, you should have enough cash flow that you can pocket some of that and put it towards investments.
Yeah. That's probably the best. I mean, if you're trying to grow any type of volume, that seems like the best use of space there.
Yeah. So my lab in my basement was a 12 by 12 room, which was bigger than I needed.
Mine's small right now. My lab is actually, you can get 2 people in there, and when you get a third, it gets cramped. So that's one of the projects down the way is we've got all my junk. The last bit of junk that hasn't made it up is in a little storage area that we were hoping to keep next to the lab, but that's not going to happen. So we'll get that out of the way, make the lab a little bit bigger, and it'll be about 12 by 8.
12 by 8?
Yeah.
I'll say the 12 by 12 was not a good format for me. I feel like this room right here, the culture lab that's next to us, I think that may also be a 12 by 12. There's just too much walk space in the middle. We like it here because of, which I know for you, you've got you're smiling. So you have no walk space in yours.
Yeah.
But like in ours, like you literally had 3 or 4 steps you could take between the lab table and the shelves behind you, and it was like, okay, there's an awful lot of wasted space here. But here, when we got the rolling racks in the lab, we can actually we make better use of that space because we move things around. When we're teaching people doing like the mentorships and stuff now, you got enough room because we'll do up to 6 people at a time. We usually don't do that many, but
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Right now, I'd say we're doing 1 to 2 people every other week.
Okay.
But if you have like 3 or 4 people in there, it's nice to have the standing room for everyone to be able to see around the table and stuff like that. So it's better use of that than if I was just having a lab. If I had a lab, I probably would make it a little tighter, just because you can store more stuff. And I don't know if you've seen our shelves recently, but they're like full.
Yeah, no, they look real nice.
Yeah, they do. Thank you.
So were you doing, it was production as well in that lab, right? The 12 by 12 in the basement? It wasn't just
It was, yeah. It was our production work and our culture, liquid culture, all that stuff.
So the lab is perfectly, the size is just fine if I'm in there doing culture work and stuff like that. It's when you wheel in a couple full racks of bags, and then you're doing the shuffle with pulling a shelf out, shelf in, and a couple people, and then I have one shelf in there right now that I try to shove all the grain spawn and cultures and stuff on, and it's
Cheryl, no, I did not steal the lab Sharpie. Didn't mean to interrupt there either, but I mean that's the racks certainly take up a lot of room. That's one of the reasons why I like having a separate production lab.
It's nice,
especially with those big doors where I can just roll in and out. Like the warehouse changed things for me. I not to brag, but it's like just being able to have things delivered to a dock is so much better than like when we had it at the basement farm and I had to haul 50-pound bags up and down stairs. I was in better shape.
It has its pros.
It has
if
its
you
pros.
Look for them.
In fact, the mushroom guys on the Discord and I, like Jesse, Daly and a few of the others that you've met on there.
Yeah.
We've been talking about doing like a mushroom farmer's workout routine.
Okay.
And then like being like, okay, when we're going to eat mushrooms 3 to 4 times a week, and we're going to like try to lose weight and build muscle, and like we're going to just be like, we ate mushrooms 4 times a week and did mushroom chore workouts, and we lost this much weight, and
So,
then sell it.
There you go, dude. One of my former employees told me about some guy called the Fit Farmer.
Oh, I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, I need to look him up, but he said basically it's what you're talking about. So, but when you unload a pallet, you've got to make sure that you got some contamination.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, I just noticed these little, and you know what? They're I'm pretty sure they're ants, and I'm pretty sure they're from that. Because
I think that'd be
that was out in the garden, and I just put that in there a few days ago to start the bacterial cycle before the fish come in. And we've noticed there's been a couple of living things that came out of it, and I think that these may be, heck, they maybe even be queen ants. I don't know. If they are, I'm going to totally do a terrarium, but that is neither here nor there. Let's the chat real quick. Did you finish what you were saying?
Point of it, if you make
Okay.
your mushroom workout, you just have to emphasize your proper form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You unload the pallet with the left side, then you unload the right side.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you got to do it balanced, because otherwise you'll end up like with massive one arm and then a tiny little arm.
That or just a bad back.
That too. That's okay. That's probably a little bit more important. But let's see. Oh goodness. We're way behind. Do I really want to have a polished finish on my concrete floor when the spores get on it and it gets wet? Wouldn't that be real slick? I don't even have. Do you have a polish down on yours or anything? A coating?
At one point in time, I think there was. I mean, it's an older basement, so it's not fresh, and I mean, wet concrete is fairly slick, but I've never fallen. It's out of all the things down there, it's that are dangerous. It's pretty. I don't notice it being, like it doesn't get to where it's like ice or anything like that for me. Not at all. And I clean my grow room every week, so
it gets a lot of that stuff up. I mean, I've had the slickness before, but it's usually not bad. And we didn't finish ours at all. Except that there are any cracks that were running through the floor, we did put silicone in.
Yep.
But that's it. Other than that, so I just didn't want mushroom spores getting down in that crack, and then but
floor mushrooms.
I assume where we were talking about the triangle on your floor. Someone said I don't need to scrub the pentangle on my basement floor.
No, it works better that way.
That's right. Yeah. Keep the previous owner's spells.
There you go. You might have trouble growing there if you scrub it off.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. We are just starting a batch where we are using grain and sawdust together and directly inoculating LC into the bag. So I don't know, a video a while back. Have you tried that? Have you tried any of the LC directly to?
It's been a while.
Okay.
The LC directly to like a fruiting block. Yeah. So I've tried a couple different oysters on the straw on the goat mix, and I similar success to you. Yeah. It's grown some, perfect flushes. It just takes forever. You saw that we got that package in today with the new vaccine gun. Yes.
I'll show it to you after the cast here, because we didn't have time to talk or anything, but beforehand. But it is pretty awesome. I mean, I got it from Lion's Mane of Denver, and other than the fact that our previous one blew up in Tristan's face, the glass part, so not the greatest part there, but this thing was inoculating blocks real nice before that. And we were doing 30 milliliters of the aerated mycelium, which is way thicker, and I'm thinking that we'll have better results because you'll just have so much more mycelium. And we're just stabbing it 3 times, doing 3 10 milliliter inoculations straight from the liquid culture jar.
Okay.
And just deep down into the sub. So I'm hoping that's going to do grow in faster, because it's not just squirted on the top, or just put in last time I did it, I only did 10 milliliters. Do you know how much you did?
Yeah, it was about that 10, 15, just to one spot. I mean, all the things you're doing seem like where you need to go with it.
Yeah, that's what I was
Did you
hoping.
just start doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
in fact,
curious to
we
see.
stopped because the cattle gun blew up. Now, I've ordered like 5 other vaccine guns
Yeah.
just because I want to try a bunch of them, see which ones are better. But, I mean, this one, I'm hoping I'm going to play with it a little bit more, see if I can get the hang of it.
Heck
I just
yeah.
literally think that our mycelium was so thick.
Was he
because
just squeezing so hard it popped on
Well,
him?
he said he wasn't like it wasn't even squeezing that hard, but I think that if he was going with like a full, like I wasn't there. I was actually doing a show last week when it
wasn't
burst.
squeezing that hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said. But oh my goodness,
Tristan.
yeah, you got me. But I mean, I don't think that it would take much to plug it up and then burst it. There's another thing too of where we autoclaved it. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Where we autoclaved it, where we were thinking that it may actually just crack the glass and cool
What
down
I
or
was
something.
wondering as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of heat.
All right. So I'm thinking that next time we'll autoclave it, put it in like a unicorn bag,
Okay.
autoclave it, and then just let it cool down overnight before using it. But I want to make sure that we don't damage any of the parts. So the whole thing
Yeah.
is supposed to be autoclavable. But I think Cheryl said whenever it was running, she had a spike in pressure. I could be wrong about that, but
Okay.
so try again.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay tuned.
I hit the wrong button again. To the question about the adding grain to it, I've seen people do the grain pocket. But my question is why? Unless you're doing it on the small scale at home, I'm not really quite sure why you would want to do the grain pocket, because you still got to shake the bag.
Yeah.
Which the whole point of getting the LC in there direct to inoculation is so that you don't have to shake the substrate. So, but if I was doing it at home and I didn't have a HEPA filter, that'd be a way to do it without a HEPA filter.
Okay.
Like if they're growing, because you can do liquid culture at home pretty easily without a HEPA filter.
Yeah.
But then to do direct to fruiting blocks wouldn't be quite as effective, and you're going to wait a long time unless you have that grain to shake in. So, and that way you can skip the grain spawn step.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense for that. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't really have any more thoughts on it.
I mean, I don't have a use for it, but I like it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that would work, I think. So, Geraldine, I hope that helps. Someone said started fruiting chamber in my FC in my grow tent today. I don't know where I'm going to sell these. I don't know what FC is, so I'm going to skip that question. Unless you know what FC is. Okay.
Fruiting chamber.
Well, that's what I thought. But
But
then,
they duplicated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said they're at the stage where they're giving mushrooms away right now. I was wondering whether that would work. Oh, they're talking to Geraldine. Never mind. See, this is the problem without having Samantha here to
I'm
to
sorry,
guide
man.
us.
I'll bring my computer next time and
Oh, that's fine. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
do a good job at this.
Yeah. Well, Samantha's going to join us on future ones too, but
Yeah.
she's a little busy today. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm way behind on the chat. So let me just go up from where I was at. Nope. Say something.
Say
Cover for me. No, just kidding.
No. Yeah.
I'm building a 20 by 20 grow room about 9 feet high. Is that big? That's just grow room. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's what is your size again?
Mine's 10 by 20, so
10 by 20.
Yeah, that's big.
Okay, yeah. So that's ours are 12 by 20.
12 by 20. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yours have. If I'd have had just
A little bit more
I
space.
needed to keep an alley to get back to the sump pump in the
Right.
corner of my basement, so it gets a little tight in there. But
Well, and that's what we have a walk space between the first grow room and the next set of grow rooms.
Yeah.
So there's like walk space between the walk-in, the grow room, and then the next grow room, so that people can get down. Not me. I can't get down. I'm too fat for that. But like Collier,
you can drop
Ben,
your son in there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, hang him by the ankles.
We have done similar things before. But really, that was just to have a breezeway. So that any humidity that seeped out of the grow room would just evaporate instead of sitting there and rotting the wood. So,
Excellent.
because when we pulled the grow room out of the basement, I did have a couple of patches that were not well maintained.
Yeah,
So.
I am thankful to the previous owners helped us out with a lot of stuff, and ours is all up against like this nice waterproof lining and stuff. So it's pretty nice. Which is good considering how little I've known what I was doing through a lot of this. I've had the best chance at not destroying.
But now you know so much more.
Yeah, so much every day, more and more.
Especially like when something goes wrong, that's when I learn the most.
It's what I tell myself every time.
Right? It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any easier to handle.
No.
But it's good to know that there's an end sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you hit the wall yet?
The wall?
Yeah. Have you hit burnout yet?
No. I'm aware of it.
Okay.
I keep it in mind, and I have not really had a day off since our mentorship.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. That's why I was wondering.
But to me, it's okay. Like I know I will need a break, at some point, not to go like that hard, but it's all, we're just working towards goals. It's been growing so fast. A lot of it doesn't feel like I'm working a lot of the time. So.
I understand that too. And that's I had that early days as well. And honestly, I feel like burnout is more common amongst growers who are they're doing something and it's working, and so they keep doing it, but they don't realize I need to lay off the labor a little bit on my own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're aware of it and you're even if you're working every day, you can guard against it somewhat. I mean, there's a lot of people who get into this, and I feel like have burnout anywhere like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And then they kind of fix things, but things aren't really fixed. They just band-aided, and it's like, okay, you're supposed to use the band-aid time to really fix the problems. But a lot of people don't. They just kind of run into the next, when that band-aid is no longer sufficient, and then I've seen that be more, because burnout for me has happened more often when I am stressed, low on funds, have problems, and cannot fix them.
Yeah.
And that's when burnout hits.
Yeah, it's 100%. And I don't know. I guess I've had moments of that, where there's definitely moments where it seems like everything's going wrong and it can be difficult. But yeah, I mean, that's why why I have 3 employees already and stuff, is really making moves to try and ease up on myself a little bit. And also it's just been necessary. But
well, especially when you got a kid, man.
Absolutely, yeah. And that does a lot. It would be different. Like right now, I think being in the basement is a blessing, because I can run upstairs and I've got my family's with me. So every lunch we take a long hour and a half lunch, and I'm with my wife and my daughter, and our full timer right now, Annalise, is just kind of like become part of the family, and she comes up, and like I said, it doesn't feel like work a lot of the time. Yeah. So it's well,
I mean, that's good, because that's kind of the way it happened with me when Samantha and I basically, I hit burnout hard, and then Samantha and I and a couple of my buddies, which you've met, Charles and Ben, sat down and we're like, okay, what can we do to make this not so terrible, right? Especially on Andrew, who suffers from not wanting to work every day anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the show up every day type, I'm like, show up when there's a problem and fix the problem kind of.
Yeah.
But that said, we can't all be, pickers. Most of us are beggars.
So do you have some advice?
I do. I think it's really just what you're talking about. Like, when we sat down and rewrote everything, we wrote it to where I was working 20 hours a week. Samantha was working about 20 hours a week, working every day. I mean, it was literally still 7 days a week, but we were just not working as hard, and we cut out everything we could possibly cut out. And then after that, we just had we would take long lunches. I had time to go with Samantha on deliveries. So, oh gosh, don't look behind you. Oh no, you looked behind you. Is that for all of us?
I guess Buckethead /
oh gosh.
Oh, sorry. Buckethead versus Slash. Is this what you're doing here?
He's saying that Buckethead's superior.
Oh, man, you need better handwriting.
He doesn't like the Gunter Schlaus.
Huh?
He said, "What's that over there?" And you went, "Huh?" And he flipped you off. So
Thank you, Michael.
I think Maiko's a little jealous.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
you're just going to watch your bag from now on.
We'll hug later.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean that. So go back to the burnout. That's the basic thing. It's just taking a little bit of control, taking your time, and finding ways that you can do things, and spend time with your friends and family.
Yeah.
Family is really important. I know to you, it's important to me. I don't feel right if I don't have some time with them.
Exactly.
And one of the worst things in the world to me back then was sitting in the basement, packing bags, knowing I had to pack bags, and I couldn't spend time with my family, hearing them up there playing and like running around, and it's just like, oh, I hate this farm so much.
Yeah.
But then after we reworked it, I fell in love with it again. It was easy to fall in love with it because it was making money without much effort. And then I was also getting to spend that time. I'm not saying without work. I'm just saying without like severe effort,
Yeah.
And it just, that helped.
So this was done by rewriting everyone's roles just so people were more clear and you had an established workload.
And we cut out block sales at that time.
Okay.
We cut out spawn sales, culture sales, because what I was finding is that those, for me at that time, were very short-term gains, but were off task enough that it like interrupted how often I was completing what was really pumping out money, which was the fresh mushrooms.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that I stopped all, culture sales or anything like that. That's actually, I guess I did for a time, but then it was like, that's what got me into, I had the time for mushroom breeding. That's where I started breeding the first stuff. And then after that, it was like, oh, I've got employees now, and my job is literally nothing. Oh, I guess I'll start a YouTube channel. So it was about the same time that both those things started happening. So,
Heck yeah.
okay. So it was actually burnout that made YouTube a thing for me. So,
it's amazing what good things come out of, the hardest times often. So,
well, the hard times are a blessing now. I try to look at them that way because almost always I've come out for the better if I pay attention.
That part.
Right.
You do need that part.
Yeah. Because if you, something, Samantha, and I've learned a while back was that if you're getting really depressed, I had a cycle of depression that came along with that burnout. And really it was me not doing things I really should be doing, things that would help me, things that I needed as a person.
Yeah.
Which was, I like growing stuff, number one. And then number two, I shouldn't be beating my head against the wall for an income, and I shouldn't be missing all my family time. Quick little tidbit. I think I've told you this. It's kind of embarrassing for me, but I've got a son who's expelled from school for a year for having a little bit of green on him.
Okay, I didn't know the reason.
Yeah. And he and I were getting in. He was really, he swung at me. So.
Son?
Yeah. And then it was a little kerfuffle there for a moment. But we've really just kind of been with him all the time. We've been working with him. I've been just trying to engage with him. I tried not to get so angry about it and just be like, okay, I'm going to limit your ability to do harm or whatever, or to get yourself in trouble. But at the same time, I'm going to start spending more time with you and we're going to talk stuff out, right?
Yeah.
Because that's obviously what you're needing. And having the farm and employees where I wasn't, I don't know how people with a regular job handle those situations, man, because as much time as I've taken with it, because the court mandated a PO and, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah. No, you're right, though, that that is right in line with my goals, is having, that's one of the things that I dislike so much about all of my 9-to-5 jobs, was feeling that kind of slave to the clock. And it was very difficult to take the time for me, a lot of it was, taking family to a doctor's appointment,
right.
Or just being present and having them not be alone, things like that.
Well, Samantha and I went through it, and probably in a similar situation where, by the time we had our Aislinn, our third kid, Samantha was working almost 80 hours a week. I was working about 60 hours a week. And this was before I had any inkling of a mushroom farm, really. And we were just slaving away. When we knew, we did the calculation. When Aislinn came, our childcare was going to be so expensive that it was going to eat up my entire income.
Yep.
I was really lucky when I had an allergic reaction on the carrot cake line with the walnuts. I dumped a box of walnuts.
Yeah.
And the walnut dust blew in my face, and I had an immediate reaction. And Samantha was just like, just quit. Just be home, grow mushrooms. Because I was already just starting to like play with them.
Yeah.
And she's like, just take care of the garden, make sure we've got food, and do all these things. And she's like, but when we were doing that, my first 2 kids were in childcare all the time. I never saw them. Samantha was working 80 hours. I was working 60 hours. And it was just like, she was working night shift. I was working day shift. We never saw each other.
No one sees anyone.
Right. And that's, I mean, like it blew up like this. And the mushroom farm made it possible for me to actually spend time with my family on a everyday basis.
And that's the difference there, is that I am working. I haven't had a day off, in that long, but I've also seen my family and my relationships with every member of my family grow significantly through that year, because I've been able to, I can move production. I've got flexible.
Yeah, you can go, oh man, I could do that in 2 hours.
Exactly.
I'm going to go take an extended lunch.
Yeah. We can meet you at the park. Yes, we can go to the science museum.
I'll just pack bags
we can
tonight.
have dinner. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, that level of freedom. It's a different kind of, it's not a different kind of freedom, I guess, but it's, I love it.
Absolutely. Going off with the topic we were just on, someone said, who are you guys getting blocks for $10 a block from? I'm seeing them for like $35 from Myers mushrooms, but his aren't that great of quality. They come all loosey-goosey, and it's hard to fruit from them. So I don't have any experience with Myers' blocks, but Maine Cap and Stem sells bulk blocks. TR Davis, Earth Angel, sells bulk blocks.
Yeah.
Kennett Square, there's a bunch of mushroom suppliers that will sell blocks for that cheap. Can you think of any others?
No.
Okay.
That's and I haven't personally dealt. I'm lucky. I'm right next to this guy, so
I'm lucky that you're buying from me.
Yeah, there you go. It's I love those relationships. So
speaking of that,
yeah.
Can I go into the topic?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, which topic? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, Josiah, did you text me first or did you call me first? I can't remember, but
panic text. It was right before. Somewhat panicked. I think it was panicked enough to not realize I was texting you like 15 minutes before the Monday Discord stream.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a text first.
So basically, what was it? The first one was for a restaurant called the Appalachian.
Yeah.
Which I love the Appalachian. You guys are ever in Sevierville, if you go to the Smokies, go to the Appalachian. You'll be eating Josiah's mushrooms because of what we're about to talk about. But we started noticing like some of your sample boxes hitting some restaurants. Samantha comes home and tells me like, Josiah's boxes they're very pretty and they're showing up at our restaurants. So I was like, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Like the chefs that are going to stay with us are going to stay with us. It's not, I'm not worried about it.
That Appalachian box was solicited, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. That which doesn't matter to me. Because I called Dave, the owner.
Yeah.
And what it was is I was dealing with the owner, and Josiah was dealing with the chef,
the new chef,
the head chef. Okay. And basically, it came down to I think Jeremy wanted the new chef wanted to use you guys, and then Dave wanted to use us because he's used us for all of his restaurant openings for a while, and basically, you already have, 3 or 4 restaurants in Sevierville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Been moving into that area.
Okay. Which is fine, because I had one restaurant in Sevierville, and when that happened, I was just like, I told Samantha, I was like, let's just give that to Josiah, because it's actually a waste of gas for us at this point, and Josiah already has a route. Like, we were going there for $80 to $160.
Yeah.
45 minutes out of our way, one way. And
yeah,
for you, it's probably even slightly longer drive.
We're actually about the same.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah.
But you already have 4. How many is it? Is it 3 or 4?
It is 3 now because one of them just burned down. It'll be 4.
Oh shoot!
Well, they didn't burn down. They had a fire in the front of house, so they'll be back in a few months. But
and then Dave Rule is opening another restaurant, which I told him
Yeah.
to go ahead and use you for. Did he contact you for that?
Not yet. They showed me around that place the first time I went out there.
Okay, cool.
So,
That barbecue place?
The Trotters. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, me too.
And we've got a few. There's lots in that. We've just kind of begun in that area now. If we're driving that far,
Yeah.
we'll be targeting more. We've got like the plans, like you and Samantha. We vision getting a babysitter, starting in Sevierville and working our way all the way up to the mountains, and you can end with like a nice lunch and spend the day.
Heck
And,
yeah.
yeah. So
That's the dream.
yes.
I like that. Yeah, so I mean, I had told Savannah like we'll go ahead and talk. So we talked to Dave and we told him that I was like, look, I know Josiah. He's a good producer. I taught him, the mentorship stuff. That said, he's very much self-taught too. But I don't want to take all the credit. I mean, your success is my success, but your success is really yours. So, but at the same time, like I was like, I've taught him. He's growing my strains.
Yep.
Largely, he's growing. I know he produces quality because I've seen the evidence is all over Instagram. Plug your Instagram real quick.
Yeah, it's extraterrestrial fungi.
There we go.
Everywhere.
And then, oh gosh, I told Dave, I was like, look, I know him. He's a family guy. He's a good guy. Because Dave was like, look, he's basically told me he kind of tore into Jeremy, which I feel bad for, because he was like, to save a little bit of money, you guys are like hurting a relationship I've cultivated for years. And I told Dave, I was like, look, it's not hurt at all. And it's not hurt between you and I at all. And it's not hurt between me and Jeremy at all. In fact, I think it just makes more sense for you to have that restaurant. And I'm not expanding in that area. I just haven't been. I've been expanding more in Knoxville. So when I told Dave that, I was like, I just want to make sure that I left you guys in good hands too, because I know that you're you're just a good person, an honorable person. So, and I was like, I wouldn't leave you with someone that wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for for being that way. But while we were on the phone, Josiah and I, at some point, we were just talking through all of this stuff because we were talking about other restaurants as well, like for Blackberry Farms and some other stuff. I was just like, man, I don't like this. I know you were feeling some anxiety because you said so. Which
yeah. I mean, bit of the new kid on the block going around. We have a tight knit restaurant market around here, and there's been it's been an awkward position to be in, being approached multiple times by restaurants that it's like, I've purposefully avoided this because your name's on the menu or something like.
Right.
I mean, it's so obvious, but that's been a delicate dance to have to learn how to do. And
and you don't have to be so delicate.
Yeah, no, I've learned that too. That's It is what it is. That's why that's why we had the conversation that we did.
Right.
It was
kind
of figuring out how to handle a lot of that. So.
Well, and that's what I made the decision. Like I told my guys, like we're going to start packing. About half our production is being switched over to specialties. So I may still be showing up in the same restaurants that you're in, but it'll just be for different mushrooms and for different reasons.
Absolutely.
I still have to do oysters because that's how I prove the new strains that I'm doing. So that's why we're still keeping that number at that. But, which by the way, I've got an improvement on King Blue.
Improvement?
Is
this from the cross with
Old
Road? Or?
No, it was a cross with one called EB10.
Okay.
Interesting. Cheryl is just absolutely adamant that we call it the fat bottom. Because
I heard you were talking about this.
Dude, it's rounded at the bottom, and then it comes out like with King Blue caps.
Okay.
So each one is like this weird, like pear-shaped, right?
Dude, yes.
Yeah, and the texture is firmer than normal King Blue is.
Okay.
Which I think is an improvement because it's always been a little not quite king enough that I wanted it, but
it's that I think. Are you the one that used the word pillowy? Whoever
that was probably Cheryl.
Whoever
or maybe
called
Jack.
That,
I don't
Jackie
know.
probably. Yeah. But that's what it is. It's a lot of the other oysters are meatier than it, but I freaking love that King Blue. We grow more of that than anything.
Oh, you're gonna like this one then, and it will be released in like a few weeks, but. If we manage to save it. That said, excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going before the King Blue improvement?
Our restaurant.
Our restaurant
You're switching
stuff, yeah.
to specialties.
Yeah, we're switching to specialties. That's what made me think about it, because I was talking about the breeding and improving new strains.
Yeah.
But we're moving to specialties, and then at the same time, we seeded the ground at Sevierville just to give you guys that room where it already makes sense to, and then I was just like, while we were on the phone, I was like, man, you want to host the MushRune Cast with me?
By the way,
like, I mean, and it just because it makes sense to me. Like, I don't want, I don't know, man. I'm not, like, I've talked about it from the beginning. I don't really want, like, I like competition, but I don't think that competition needs to be bloodthirsty. I don't think it needs to be, you've got a daughter. I don't want to take food out of her mouth. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and I know you feel the same way.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, I recognize what competition does.
Right.
Yeah, it's motivation. I don't know. It definitely has been a motivating factor to get to why we have 160 blocks a week already. Why I'm this far already is just trying to,
gobble up some territory.
Yeah, exactly. Get in there as well, because there are people behind me as well. So
Well, who are they?
Well, the two I think I mentioned last time, Rainbow Creek and
Not familiar with them.
Yeah, and Green Yams is the other, but he does
Is that the one you were telling me about that does more than just mushrooms?
exactly.
Okay.
You got it. Teas and does some CBD stuff and things
Okay.
like that. So, and another farm I recently was told about in Athens. There's a guy, I can't remember the name.
Is that
of
Possum
it, though.
Bottom?
No, it's a younger guy.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Did you ever meet Possum Bottom?
Not as like as a fellow farmer.
Okay.
I went down there and bought some mushrooms from him at like the last farmers markets he was at when I was basically doing.
Oh, is he not
He cleared the way.
at Market Square?
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't been there. In fact, I am the newest of 3 mushroom vendors. So Rainbow Creek and Green Yams were both there before me.
Dang.
It
Okay.
just kind of, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That throws me off a little bit. I figured he was still there.
He was there. This would have been the summer market of 2020. Yeah. And that was the last time that I saw him. So, I mean, I didn't look much into it. I've just chalked it up to another one of these blessings that's been like, I mean, it could not have happened at a more perfect time for me. And the markets were basically wide open.
Market Square always did me well. We're not going to be... We're wanting to do markets again this year, but we're thinking we're just going to stay really local.
Yeah.
There's a new farmers market here in Jefferson City. That's the Mossy Creek Market.
Okay.
I think we're going to hit that just because it's so close.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mean, it's the Mossy Creek Market. Mossy Creek mushrooms can't not be at the...
You kind of have to.
Yeah, it's just...
People are going to think you helped set it up.
Well, that's actually... I didn't think about that, but that's going to be good for me, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's... How many markets are you at?
We'll be at 3 Saturday markets and a Wednesday market starting May 4th or something. The beginning of May is when all of them are in effect.
Okay.
Right now we're at 1, then it'll go to 2, 3, 4. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it at 4 for right now, and and see where we go from there. It's I love the farmers market. I love the prices you get at the farmers market.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You definitely have to the logistics behind it. Make you earn that money. So
well, and that was kind of my thing. When we stopped, it was just because I wanted my Saturdays back.
Yeah,
and that was really the only reason why I stopped. And we had so many restaurant sales, but then when the pandemic hit, I was like, oh crap, we need some sort of roots in the community. And that's another reason why I think I want to do the market here, is just because it's our local community. So
yeah, is this going to be the first season for it?
Yep.
Start it up.
Yeah. This lady. There's a Jefferson City was historically like a train stop town before you got to Knoxville, right? All the railroads around here led to Knoxville, so you had these little railroad towns that popped up, and Mossy Creek was one of them. And when it popped up, they had a whole depot station here. Actually, this building that we're in In fact, I'll show you out back.
Yeah.
There are still railroad tracks that come right up to the bay doors on the back.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Because they used to just unload animal feeds right off the train here.
Yeah.
So, but like everything was based on train infrastructure. So now when the farmers market is held at they just made a new little park in the downtown Jeff City area. That is like a little train depot station kind of thing. So it's going to be a cool farmers market, I think.
Yeah.
Like it'll be legit.
Farmers markets are going crazy right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah,
good. And then,
absolutely.
Well, and I don't know. How do you feel about the shortage situation? I know we're actually at like 4:31, so it's technically time to end, but I would be okay going like another 15 minutes.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
do you have any thoughts on, like, have you seen any shortages on supplies or price increases or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, the price increases have come on substrate. I mean, mainly shipping. Shipping went up.
Right, yeah.
Duh. But, and then there's been, every time I order, I basically hear that it's going up. Yeah, be prepared, be prepared. And then it's been, I haven't had to scramble because I stock up for like months ahead because I'm afraid of this, but I have noticed several times where unicorn bags have been more difficult to get, and that's the one that makes me a little
right, because that one, like,
nervous.
what do you replace a unicorn bag with? I mean, a Seiko bag maybe, or
scrambling.
Right, yeah. Everybody, every bag company, as far as I know, has been having. So that said, I will say that I know Unicorn, I think, just finished their European run, so they'll be switching back over to American bags, which they kind of oscillate between the two. But
no matter where the orders are coming from.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, I've been told by an insider there that the American market is way more profitable than the European market, but they keep prioritizing the European market for some reason. So
there's something we don't know.
I don't know, yeah. I mean, it may just be contracts they have or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Or maybe it's like they think, well, the American thing is so new that maybe we don't want to put all of our eggs in the American basket, and then, because apparently I've been told by another guy that came through and did a mentorship. He does a lot of business in Europe, manufacturing a bunch of stuff. And he was telling me that he loves dealing with Europeans because it's really hard to get their business, but once you get European companies' businesses, they're like loyal to you to a fault. So, and maybe that's what it is too, is that it's just that two-way loyalty. But, I've not seen any shortage stuff myself. I've heard about price increases, but what I've seen has been pretty moderate. Which is why I've not raised my prices.
No, not enough. I've had nothing yet to make me have to increase.
Right.
The gas has not been fun, especially
gosh,
because kind of expanding into Sevierville came at the same time. Right around
about the time the gas came up.
Yeah, exactly. So I basically restructured and kind of forced people to order a little bit more. Just raised our minimum, but we didn't have to do any.
But didn't
price
increase
increases.
the price,
No.
And that's what I've decided too. Is I'm going to shuffle things around as long as I can without increasing prices.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've actually been told by a couple of restaurants, including Amici, that and part of why they've been ordering so much from me is because we haven't increased our prices when everybody else is. So
I like that.
Me too.
I mean, I like that. I've got restaurants talking about adding like mushroom as the add-on with chicken and stuff like that now, and
that's great.
Putting it into some cool spots on the menu and using. I'm like, and because they're talking like that, everything else is going up. So,
well, it makes sense to me to do that. That's what Chris at Amici did. Was he made like he had a sausage, and apparently the price, it was back in the pandemic where the price of pork skyrocketed.
Yeah.
He was making in-house like these sausages that they crumble on their pizza and stuff. Well, he replaced, I think, maybe about a third of the pork with mushrooms. And when he did that, he started ordering more from us. But then, from my understanding, from what Samantha was telling me, was that he was just like, people loved it so much that when the prices came back down, he just kept it.
Just kept it
the same thing because it was actually better. And I was like, man, I can see that being more flavorful. Yeah, like that sounds good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, like, if my prices haven't increased much, and the price increases everywhere else are driving people to me, then I can just continue growing my business the way I've been doing. So I haven't seen much need.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
sorry, I was looking at the chat. So I apologize, everybody. I scraped it with my beard. But do some heavy breathing into the mic. Oh my gosh. Well, all right then. How do you feel about the future of farming?
How do I feel about the future of farming?
Starting to
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
I guess I mean about mushroom farming.
mushroom farming. No, yeah, absolutely. I'm, as someone that's
In it.
a year in it, and
Right.
so new to it, but right in it. I'm super optimistic about it. I'm very excited. Every day, I feel so fortunate to be the timing blows me away often. That
You got into it at a really good time for not just the things that you've said, but I mean, gosh, man, you skipped the worst of the pandemic, it seemed like, and got in right when they were starting to order again.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
then-
when restaurants were really kind of coming back, and people were. I mean, I actually had several restaurants that were like, okay, we're just able to start buying local again, and I was one of their first options and stuff. So it's all the things like that just have seemed to go my
like that.
way. So I'm very excited about it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things we are doing to kind of play around with this idea of the price increases or shortages or whatever, but something that I'm similar to you in where I'm optimistic about just farming in general. I think is going to be like, look at what a lot of the rich guys are doing. They're buying farmland and buying production facilities and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But beyond that, we're putting in the insect farm, the quail cages, and everything else. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
I want to do a whole episode, maybe a series on mushrooms in space.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how we could stretch that out, but these food systems, I want to start doing the loop food system stuff
Exactly.
and see if we can do anything cool on that. So
You've got to start this project now, because this is how you get to Mars. I mean, how are you going to be?
I agree. I've got to show Space Daddy.
Yes.
Notice me, senpai, at Elon. No. But no. I'll take you around as soon as we're done here, man. I'll show you what we got going on.
Yes.
Because we do have some cool things going on, though.
Yeah.
Fat Maddie punched a big hole in my my biodigester bag. So we're trying to repair that. That project's on hold.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
No,
Yeah, it was so
no.
heartbreaking to hear it, but yeah, they're trying to get it fixed, and we're about to try refilling it. So.
Farming in a nutshell.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Right. You get something brand new and put it together, and then it does. Which, to be fair, he's the one that put it together. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he fixing it too?
He's one. Yeah, he and Tristan are fixing it. So.
There we go.
Well, hey, baby.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're all right. We were just about to shut down. So.
No, I can say bye with everyone.
Well, here you go. Say hi, everyone.
Hey.
You're going to have to do it closer to the mic.
Hey.
Well, do you have anything else you want to go over before we sign off?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'd just say, honestly, it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank
having
you for
man.
inviting me. I'm really excited to do this, and yeah.
I am excited. as well.
I'll get my act together next time so I can have the chat up and interact a little better.
Well, we'll do that as well, and then we'll. I think next week I'd like to have a little bit of B-roll about what we're going to go over. So, things that I can pull up, and then I got to figure out how to use this machine to actually pull that stuff up while we're talking.
Yeah.
So
Better
yeah,
and better.
better and better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like this shirt.
I like this shirt,
I
right?
also like this shirt.
We have the shirts.
Yep. All the best shirts. The
Yes.
shirts. All right, well, guys, we really appreciate you all joining us, and I guess with that, keep spawning culture, y'all.
Yeah.
Mike swing.
Mike swing.